So I'm laying around here and I start wondering, what makes ethnocentrics tick? Why is there such a great obsession with claiming who was who in ancient civilizations? And then it hit me. The vast majority of ethnocentrics usually come from parts of your culture that have nothing. White ethnocentrics usually come from poor white trash families or rural areas or people in deep economic trouble. Indigenocentrists usually come from the barrio, poor areas. I don't really see a lot of indigenocentrism coming from indigenous populations living traditional ways. They're just content living with the way they live. Afrocentrists usually come from inner cities, uneducated, poverty-ridden, and if any of those climb out of what place they found themselves, they're already too brainwashed to change. But the fact is, in all societies, past and present, there will always be the haves and the have-nots. And if you're a have-not in this society, I'm not talking about having everything. I'm not talking about being the richest person in the world. But if you haven't accomplished anything through hard work, through being productive in society, giving back to the community, even if everybody in the world looked like you, and all the ancient civilizations you claim were people like you were in existence today, you still would be a have-not. You still would be a parasite of society. And you'd still be oppressed. The only difference is that the oppressors would look more like you. But they would find some other reason to segregate you. Because you're a have-not. Because you didn't have the will to do anything with yourself. And in order to validate yourself, you obsess with ancient civilizations. Because the haves, even if they began poor, but through hard work, struggling, when they achieve stuff, they're proud of who they are. And they're not obsessed with ancient civilizations because they know what they're doing. The wannabes are the ones that are unhappy with the situation they have in life. So they dream of being kings and queens of ancient civilizations. But in those ancient civilizations, they would have still been serfs. They would have still been slaves. Because back then, there were other people just like them in every single one of those civilizations, wishing they were somewhere else and dreaming about how they came from some other great thing. Ultimately, ethnocentrics are wannabes. Want to be anything but who they are right now. So they try to claim some glory by affiliating themselves with some other civilization that has nothing to do with who they are today. And that is the reality.